How's it going, guys? It's Boo from Mile High Distilling, and today we are talking about a much needed topic, something that I really can't even believe we haven't covered yet. We're going to be talking about cleaning runs. We'll take the first half of this video and go over some stainless cleaning. That's always a pretty simple setup. And then from there, we'll be talking a little bit more about copper. That's a little bit more of an extensive process. We'll be sure to cover it extensively. One thing I want to point out before we actually show you that process is there's something in distilling known as a sacrificial run. And what essentially that is you're using usually a pretty cost-effective sugar, like just regular table sugar, getting some water, getting some yeast, and fully fermenting a batch. And some sources out there will tell you that's what you need to clean a still. Now we have a much more effective solution. It's going to cost less, waste less time, and guess what? If you've already created a sacrificial run and you're planning to dump it in your still, save it. Use our method and then go ahead and use that sacrificial run for your first ever real batch. So we're going to treat you guys right. We're going to get started right away. Let's go ahead and start breaking down a cleaning run on a stainless unit. So our simplest way to complete a cleaning run is going to be using straight vinegar and water. We can use distilled white vinegar, we can use apple cider vinegar, really doesn't matter. A few dollars worth of vinegar is really all you need. Regarding the boiler, with stainless, there's going to be a little bit of differences on ratios compared to copper, but for stainless, what we generally want to go with is our rule of thumb is about half of our max capacity of our boiler. This is an 8-gallon boiler, so what I'm going to be using is 2 gallons white vinegar, 2 gallons water for 4 gallons total. That's going to be my cleaning solution. The reason we have that ratio there is mainly because of this internal heating element. This isn't meant to be dry fired, so using that half capacity in our boiler is going to pretty much ensure that we never really boil dry. If we're using an external heat source such as a hot plate or a propane stove, we don't really have to follow that half capacity ratio. I'd still recommend it. Sometimes, and this has happened to me before, I forgot about a cleaning run and I kind of just let the still go for, I think it was 6-8 hours. If I didn't have that ratio in there, there was a chance I could have boiled too much, and you know, we don't want to boil dry, even if we're using external heat source. So at a minimum with external heat source, I'd recommend maybe a gallon of each, gallon of vinegar, gallon water. But again, my full recommendation is going to be to keep it that half capacity. This cleaning solution is designed to get all of the manufacturing oils, different residue, and things that can happen during processing of these boilers and towers out of your still. So it's definitely an essential step. Stainless is going to be an easier process. Let's go ahead and just start dumping through this still. Now, I don't think it really needs to be said, but make sure your heating element, if that's what you're using for your heat source, is in the boiler already. And then we top off the rest with some water. I use hot water just because it's going to boil a little bit faster, but it doesn't really matter. Only step left to do is turn on our heater, and we're going to wait it out. In the meantime, let me show you guys copper. Now with copper equipment, there's a lot of similarities in the beginning of this process, but we're going to change our ratios up. Now the reason we do that is just to help things at the post-cleaning stage. We're going to have to do a lot of scrubbing in post-cleaning, so filling that boiler all the way up is going to help us. It's going to take less scrubbing inside of that boiler by doing that. So our ratios are going to change slightly. We don't want to go completely full with any still. You want to leave a few inches worth of headspace. We don't want things to boil over. So what we'll do instead of half capacity is do basically as much operational capacity as we can. The way you would normally operate a still is around an 8-gallon boiler, you'd use around 7 gallons max. We even recommend 6.5. And that number changes from boiler to boiler, but we just want a few inches of that headspace. So for copper, our ratios change a little bit. We're still using a 50-50 mix. It's just going to be 3.5 gallons water to 3.5 gallons vinegar. And then we'll just simply heat up this one as well. We'll get it to a boil. Make sure to have something underneath that condenser line to collect what's going to be dripping out. We'll see you guys in just 1 second. Okay guys, And here's our next step. When we start seeing steam out of that condenser line, we're in good shape. You'll notice when we're running our cleaning, we don't want any hoses, any cooling at all going to our unit. We're steam cleaning. So we're boiling up using our heating method, and we're just letting everything come out and steam through. Now we're gonna hold it here for really at your discretion. Personally, I can't stand the smell of vinegar. Give me some Pringles, some salt and vinegar Pringles, and I will house them like I haven't eaten in 3 days. But this hot vinegar, I don't know what it is. I can't stand it, especially not in like a 10 by 10 room. So I give mine 30 minutes. You are welcome to do an hour. You can go 2 hours, whatever you're really thinking, but I'd at least do 30 minutes. So when you start seeing that steam, go ahead and get a timer going for your time that you want. And once every, bro, I breathed in some of it, man. I hate this shit. Okay, after you're done with that timing, we'll go ahead and show you the next step. And right here is exactly what we're pulling out from that still during that run. Now you can see kind of how important that is. And then once again, we're just waiting for that steam to come out of our condenser line. There is a little bit more of an extensive process past this, so we're going to go ahead and discuss that a little more. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you post. I apologize in advance if there's some audio issues. I am in a very small closet, very close to the mic, but it's the only way I can show you. So we're going to be cleaning our stainless. After we've dumped our solution with that vinegar and water, we're just going to wash out. We're going to dump that solution, and we're just going to wash out with a hose. Simple as that. That's all it takes on stainless. With this hose, dumping, we dry off with a towel, and we are done with our stainless. It's nice and clean. Now with our stainless tower, we're just going to take that hose and pump it through our bottom of our still and turn the water back on. And it's going to come out that other end. We're going to be doing the same thing for our condenser line. Put that hose right over it. Get it nice through there. And bam. That is really how easy stainless is. There is nothing more than you're going to need to do to properly clean this. You might run into situations where you have a really dirty fermentation and it kind of messes your tower up. There might be sludge in there. And if that's the case, we'll just repeat our vinegar water solution we just did. But for all other practices, that's all it takes. Go ahead and just wash out with the hose real quick, wipe down with the towel. Your stainless is clean. You're ready for the next run. Now what you'll see, hopefully you guys can see, this little collar right here. It's got a much more dirty, brownish look to the copper. Now looking inside, what you should be seeing is more of a red, bright color. And that's everything we've been soaking. So getting that boiler as full as we can, that's going to make it so that bright red color that we're looking for is, we get as much volume of that as we can. That's going to make it so we have to scrub this dirtier brown a little less. So for copper, we are going to go ahead and wash out quickly, get rid of some of that vinegar that was left over in there, and really some of that residue. And what we're going to do from there, we're going to take a Brillo pad, 3M pad, something like this that has a nice coarseness to it, and we're going to be scrubbing. And this again is what makes keeping that vinegar water solution as high as you can in your boiler such a saving grace, because getting down here and trying to blend the red copper that we soaked to the brown copper that's still tarnished is a hell of a thing. I'd recommend wearing gloves for actually going through with this. Copper is very toxic to the skin. Obviously, in most cases, nothing would really happen over short-term use like this, but still, better safe than sorry. I don't want this on my fingers. I wear contacts. I don't want a bunch of copper scraps in my eye. What you can also do is if you have some leftover vinegar, go ahead and dab this on this 3M here, and that'll give you a really nice advantage. We're essentially just going to hit the outside and scrub until it's blended in with that red. It won't be that red from the soak. You won't ever really get that color by hand. But all we're really doing is taking off definitely any patina, any green, any blue, Anything black, we're going to be scrubbing that off. And we're just going to get it back to somewhat of its natural brown copper color. I'd recommend that after you scrub the inside, we do one more quick wash in here. And we definitely want to dry, or that patina is basically going to grow back because of oxidization. So hopefully the camera is picking this up, but we're definitely looking more of that brighter copper sheen on this color through that scrub. And that's what we're looking for. Remember to dry out very, very well, or you're going to have to repeat that process if you don't want that oxidization. And for the outside of this can, we don't have to worry so much about being food grade. The outside obviously isn't making contact with too much that you have to be worried about. So we can get away with a few cleaners. Things like Tarnex. We also have Barkeeper's Friend, which is what we use. And then you can either use a Brillo pad the same way or use a towel. And then from there, we can just kind of move that cleaner along our boiler. Scrub as needed on any black parts, any green parts. And it's going to make that copper, as you can see, have a really nice, light, beautiful, clean copper surface to it. That's just for comparison on what that cleaner is doing compared to this. For the inside of the tower, I recommend taking a tiny strip worth of that 3M or Brillo pad. Let's go ahead and just get what we can with our fingers real quick. Just kind of wipe around there, same as you'd wash a glass. And for more of the inside, I know this looks really janky, guys. What this is a spare piece of pipe. It's just a tiny bit smaller than the diameter of my tower. And then all I have is a Brillo pad taped to the end of this. Now there are many different ways to do this, different tools, different accessories, but this is just a nice one to kind of get in there, and just like kind of a dish wand, we're just going to be scrubbing the edges of that tower all the way through. Again, many different ways to accomplish this. This is just what I have available to me. Now for the condenser side, something a little bit smaller here, what I'd recommend is getting a clothes hanger, one of those metal clothes hangers. Go ahead and fold it open, turn it into kind of a rod, and get a piece of cloth on the end and kind of just go in there and kind of just hit the inside. I unfortunately don't have one to show you, but that'd be my recommendation. Okay guys, and that's really all there is to it. Just a simple video kind of showing you a very basic necessity of owning a still, how to clean it. I hope this was informative to you. I hope maybe you learned a thing or two on cleaning your still, and I hope we pointed you in the right direction to get that still nice and ready for some high-grade water running through it. Before you leave, be sure to like this video. Please be sure to go through the rest of our channel, find some cool topics for you, and don't forget to like those videos as well. Also, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content. We also have a link down below to all our social media. Please go ahead and follow all those. We're posting different contents, different bits, all throughout those. Oh my gosh, guys, I just forgot something incredibly important in your cleaning run. This should have been the very first step you took. I apologize for that. There's one thing we got to do before that. We got to take a shot. You gotta take a shot before you actually start cleaning that still. Today I'm going to have a beautiful looking absinthe in honor of that green patina that's going to pull up in your copper. Just imagine you're just extracting that patina and drinking it straight. Take a shot with me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. All right, so that's actually fully it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.